Currently, there's a global epidemic caused from animal overpopulation. The Humane Society reports that an estimated 6 to 8 million animals are currently housed in shelters across the United States. To take that statistic a step further, it's estimated that 3 to 4 million of those animals are going to be euthanized because they just don't have a place to go. I mean, that's half. It's just a sad fact. I'm Kenny Johnson. I'm not a member of PETA or a hardcore left-wing activist. I'm just a guy who loves animals, and I'm here to say that millions of good potential pets are killed every single year. By choosing to adopt, you'll save money, save a life, and it does make a difference. There's always been talk about puppy mills and abusive animal practices. That's not necessarily the case. There are many good breeders out there who don't abuse their animals. All I'm asking you is to consider the adoption process and what it can do for you. I mean, unfortunately, we just can't save all the animals in the shelters. Euthanization is a necessary evil to keep the population under control. But each dog or cat that's adopted, that's one less that has to go through the system. And you gain a great friend. As places to adopt states, I mean, there's 3 different types of animal shelters, which all have different specific practices that they use for the adoption process. I mean, private shelters have all types of animals. I mean, and they have volunteers who know the animals, and they can help you find a good fit for you and your home. Animal control municipal shelters are a little bit more difficult. They're controlled on a state-to-state basis, and the animals will surely be killed without enough homes. But the only way that you can find out more information is to call your local shelter. And I mean, it's just a phone call, and you can find out how they do things there in that specific region. Rescue organizations will typically work with a specific breed, and they'll ensure that both the family and the animal will find a good fit. I mean, they work together. It's a little bit more of a process, but it's worthwhile because you know you're going to find an animal that's right for you, and it's right in a home that's right for the animal. Each one of those types of adoption agencies, they have way too many animals without a place to go. I mean, by choosing adoption, you also save money. I mean, the cost would typically be much less than purchasing outright. Pet suppliers, it's a commercial website that sells animals, and they even mention that there's many reasons the adoption process will cost less than purchasing from a breeder. I mean, the adoption process brings peace of mind because each animal has seen a veterinarian, they've had their shots, typically neutered or spayed. I mean, and any medical conditions or pre-existing conditions, you're going to know about it beforehand. So you know whether or not they're going to have problems, and you know what you're getting into. The adoption fees can widely vary from shelter to shelter, but it's almost always going to be significantly cheaper. I mean, eHow estimated that adoption agencies that are run by nonprofit organizations typically charge between $75 and $150. I mean, that's a big difference compared to the staggering amounts that if you're purchasing from a breeder, depending on the type of breed and the animal itself, it can be estimated from hundreds to thousands of dollars. The final variable of cost, I mean, out of all these other variables, is that by choosing to adopt rather than purchasing, you're saving a life, and I mean, that truly is priceless. You just cannot put a dollar amount on that. In conclusion, the statistics are staggering as to how many good, loving potential pets just don't have a home. I mean, the Humane Society reports that an estimated 6 to 8 million animals are currently housed in shelters across the United States, and half of those will likely be killed. There's 3 different main types of shelters that are out there. There's the private, the municipal, and the rescue organizations, and each of those have widely varied methods, but almost all ensure that their animals are happy, healthy, and they typically cost much less than purchasing outright. I mean, the cost of adoption is considerably less than purchasing a pet. It truly is. You're not paying somebody. You're not paying a business that does that. You're saving a life. I mean, by choosing adopt, you'll save money, you'll save a life, and it makes a difference. It makes all the difference in the world for you and for your new best friend. Or it's just the way to go. Please consider it. Thank you.